I am here with Stephanie and Caleb, the final two, and two of the jurors for the Cakesback Inquisition, the best part of the cheesecake when you get to the back. Now on Big Brother Cheesecake 9, Friends Time. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 9 Friends Time. It's day 30 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and Stephanie and Caleb are the final two. In just moments, they will plead their case to the jurors as to why they deserve to win the game. But first, a couple of quick announcements. I have to be at work at 4 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm going to make this really, really quick. One, I was going to give season 10 preview after during the reunion and not air it, but I decided I'm going to air it. I want everybody to see what I have to say about season 10. And number two, Miss Congeniality voting will open tonight. Everybody this season except Andrew, who technically quit, is eligible to win Miss Congeniality, but there is no prize. It's basically America's favorite player. It's always been won by a woman, so I'm very curious who will win it this season. The winners were Brenda in season 4, Rhonda in season 5, Karen in season 6, who the hell won in Penny was season 8. Who the hell won it in 7? Was it Bridget? I think it was Bridget.
Bridget.
Well, she's gonna be so mad. Sorry, Bridget. Anyway, but well deserved. Okay, so Stephanie, Caleb, you have gone as far as you can now in terms of playing the game, and now the jurors will get to question you as to why you deserve to win. When I get to the back of a cheesecake, it's like the best part. And so this is going to be so exciting. Normally we would go in order of eviction, but Sam asked to go first. But before we get to Sam, you each get to plead your opening arguments with a up to 4-minute statement. Once you hit 4 minutes, I'm going to be strict. I'm going to go at 4 minutes. Time's up. So I will cut you off. So be very, very careful. Caleb, since you won the last head of household competition, you get to choose who goes first.
I'm going to let Stephanie go first.
Okay, let me just get my watch ready. Stephanie.
I'm going to read it, so let me know when you're ready. Okay, so hi, friends. Okay, coming into this game, I didn't really know what to expect as a returning player. I knew that alone would make me a target, and I somehow had to position myself as the friendliest and easiest and non-threatening alum to get along with. By day 3, I had good vibes with Andrew, Thomas, and Missy. A personal bond that surpassed the game with Connor, and the Golden Turkeys with Roberto and Bonnie, and the Revengers with the returning players. I was never part of the big alliance to start the game, and was being the Revengers were being double-crossed by one of our members from the start. And it was very likely that we would be picked off one by one. After Brooke blindsided the big alliance by nominating Sam and Jason, the best alliance of Caleb, Kendra, Andrew, Brooke, and myself was born. That was what was also born out of that was a deep friendship with Sam. Sam then brought me the idea of Pivot, and Pivot included Andrew, Bonnie, Roberto, Connor, Sam, and myself. Socially, I was very well positioned and on good terms with every player. Thomas and I talked every single day, but I knew that he was a threat and he couldn't last. He wanted to target who I was aligning with. So winning HOH at that point was risky because my social game had positioned me so well. I had personal relationships with everyone except for Will and Casey. Those would have been logical noms at the time, but I needed to make a big move. Thomas, he gave me 50 rubies to win HOH, and then I nominated him and he was evicted. That move solely was to protect Caleb and Pivot. I had a great relationship with Missy. No one ever came to me and mentioned her as a potential alum partner, but I maintained a level of trust with her and made her feel included in the game when many didn't. I situated myself between two alliances in the game, with my loyalty being most to the only final two I made in the game. Yes, there was a let's go to the end conversation with Sam. I was very damn loyal to him. Yankee Swap could have and probably should have ruined my game if my number one was just evicted and I was beginning to have serious about doubts about being able to trust Roberto. And I went back and forth about giving Roberto the poo at that time, but I gave it to Cassie because we never had any substantial conversations. Ultimately, that led to my nomination against Will. It's still funny to me how my house guest from season 7 tried to get me evicted that week. I was blindsided by Cassie's eviction. Please note that that I kept Caleb because I didn't have a relationship with Cassie. Caleb had quietly become my number one. All of the boys decided in the 9th hour to evict Cassie because of some Phantom Girls alliance. This week totally changed my level of trust in Sam, who I thought would be to me what Caleb ended up being. The difficult part about navigating all of this was that I stayed honest. I never lied to you. I may have withheld information, but I never lied. I look forward to answering all of your questions.
Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. And Caleb, your time starts now.
Having it. Okay. Okay. Well, I know. It's a little bit difficult because I didn't write a whole speech. I wanted to go from the heart, and it's a little difficult. But coming into the game, I didn't know a lot of people, and I didn't know what to expect. Other than when I first saw the group of people I was with, I was kind of expecting to go out early. I didn't know nobody, and my history up to that point was still one that kind of struggled to socialize. But one of my points of this game was to do the best job as I could to socialize with everybody. And ultimately, I feel like there wasn't a single person that I didn't at least have a conversation with. Yes, there were people that I was much closer with over time, but that's the way the game goes. I think the hardest part for me in the game, there were a lot of hard parts for me in the game, and a lot of times I felt like I was kind of against the curve, or I was kind of fighting against. I struggled with second guessing myself a lot, especially when so many people were telling me so many different things. I think that especially came into play later in the game, where I kind of felt like I was in a position of power, in the game in a way that I had never been in before. My key moment in the game, I would have to say, all started when I was put up with Brooke, and Steph came to me and she said that she trusted Kendra. And at that moment, it was at that moment where I first felt like I knew who I was going to trust. Yes, Sam had come to me and told me he was going to, and openly admitted he was going to use me as a pawn. But when Steph admitted how close she was to Kendra and that she wanted to work with me, the difference was, since Sam had told me I was a pawn in his plan, I already knew the kind of player he was, and the kind of player which was that he was someone who games early and games hard. And it was from that moment on that I knew I kind of wanted to form a relationship with, but I knew in the end he wasn't someone I wanted to be with in the end. Based on the fact that I didn't think I would be able to beat him if he got there. Then came the next round when Kendra and Missy were on the block, and it was one of the toughest moments for me. I told a couple people very early, well, indirectly, but I implied to a few people very early that it was mine, that I was wanting Kendra out of the game because for a few different reasons, but the main motivation behind that was because I saw Steph starting to trust me, and I knew by sending her out at that point, people like Sam and Roberto, who I didn't know where exactly I stood with them, I felt like I could kind of gain their trust at that moment. And I think one of the biggest parts of that
Joanne's boobies say time up. Sorry, Caleb. That was your 4 minutes. But it's okay. You'll still have closing arguments. Don't worry. So we're going to move on to the jurors now. So we're going to start. Sam requested to go first because he has to shove a big black dildo up his ass after this. So Sam, please, by all means, your 4 minutes begins now.
Hi, guys. Congratulations to you both. Quick things first, Caleb. I wasn't bitter about you voting me out at all. I saw what you said yesterday. That wasn't why I was upset. It was how you treated me and with a lack of respect. So saying that, I'm going to show you the same decency you showed me. So can you turn your camera off, please? I don't want to speak to you. Thank you. Stephanie, it turns out that I'm probably going to be the swing vote tonight. So something I need to ask you, which is going to be really important. Okay?
Okay.
If you could choose between us having a good friendship after this or my vote, what would you choose?
I would choose our good friendship after this.
Correct answer. Thank you so much. That's all I've got to say. And Caleb, you can come back. You can come back now. It's not going to be a split vote. You're going to win in a whitewash, Stephanie. Caleb, what I said to you was true. You voted me out was your biggest mistake. You're playing with second place. Good luck, guys. I'm done.
Hey. Okay. That was.
Boarding in.
I'm usually the one that does that. Now you're stealing my shtick. But anyway. Okay, so Brazil, you missed a good one, but let's move on to so Will. I have no idea where he is. I hope to God he's not fucking his cousin Bridget, because that's too gross even for me. We're gonna move on to Casey. You're up next. Your time starts once you figure out how to unmute.
I'm unmuted. I already did it.
Great. Now.
It's not unmuting. It's muting. That's the problem.
Hi, Casey.
You're at 10 seconds.
Did you say now?
Yes.
Hello. I went out really early, so I really don't have any questions. I'm going to listen to everything and kind of just go from there. So congratulations, both of you, and good luck.
Wow.
Thank
We're
you.
We're gonna be done this fast. Okay.
You could have gave me 5 minutes after all.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 seasons, people wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I'm like, all right, okay. Missy couldn't be here. She got a sore throat because she was, doing too much anal. Yeah. And so.
How does a throat have to do with anal?
No. What's it called? That's not what I meant.
She was knob gobbling. She was blow jobs, Andrew.
No, that's not what I meant either. No.
Anal is in the butt.
No. Okay.
Jesus.
The rim job is what I meant. Sorry. Just doing too much
rim job. That
got
makes sense now. I get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Oh gosh. Okay. So, Missy, but she did have a question for both Stephanie and Caleb. So the time will start now. The question is, what was the other finalists' best move and the other finalists' worst move? Do either of you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I think that Caleb's best move was getting rid of Sam, but I think Caleb's worst move was probably his complete loyalty to me and getting rid of Roberto.
Okay. And Caleb, what was Stephanie's best and worst move?
I will probably have to say that her best move was the way she got me to be loyal to her, or got me to be loyal to her, because by the time I got to the end, I was at a point where I was so much more scared of how betrayed she could feel if I sent her out and into the jury, and the way she could sway the jury at that point. And that's part of why I kept her around. But
what was my worst move?
You know what? I'm not going to answer that. I don't think you had a worse move.
I'm going to say that even though I do think that your worst move may have been evicting Roberto, I was taking you to the final two as well. And that was real.
That's why. And that's the reason I sent out Sam too, was because I felt like if I sent you out there, I was not sure that Sam or Roberto would have taken me. I thought they might have gone to the end together, because I felt like they might have been kind of like you and me at the end.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Missy. Connor, hi.
Hi.
Are you
Hi.
are you upset that I'm possibly taken now?
Not really.
Where's the exit button on you? Take him out of the chat. Okay, you have 4 minutes.
He's got 2 minutes, Andrew. Let's make it 2.
Yeah, no, you have 4 minutes.
Okay, so I joined late, but I was told, Stephanie, that you spoke about our personal connection. So I'm gonna get to that. But first, just because of what you just answered, I'm curious why you think that evicting Sam was Caleb's best move. Just like a quick answer, because I have a few more.
I think evicting Sam was his best move, because I don't think that that Sam was good for either one of our games at that point, and so that's why I think it was his best move, because I don't know that I believe that either one of them would have brought him to final two, so that's why I said that. So I think he got to final two regardless by evicting Sam.
Okay.
Because Roberto wasn't bringing me to final two.
Also, it was part of my mindset, like, because I know a lot of people thought, like, after all the drama that happened, that his game was over. I felt like if I had let him get by again after everything he went through, then he would have been able to build a case as to why he should win, and that also scared me a little bit.
Okay. So I guess I'll start with, or I'll go to you now, Caleb. So my first question, because Sam didn't ask it, and I'm really curious, is why you, I'm not concerned with why you evicted him as much as why you left him on red and didn't respond. And then my other question is about me, because I had to ask about myself. When you said, I believe it was like the round after Andrew quit, or the round Andrew quit, you said you trusted me and Steph the most. And so I just want to know, was that legitimate? And did you plan to go far in the game with both of us, or was it just with Stephanie? So you can start with either question first.
It was mostly legitimate. To be honest, when you ended up, I didn't expect you to end up on the block when you did. And at that point, I looked at all the players, and you just had the Rock Me Not and the and your veto still, and it just kind of scared me a bit. I wasn't sure where things were gonna go, but because it was at that round where I kind of felt like I finally saw the full split, where there was kind of a split between like Steph and Bonnie, and then there was like Sam and Roberto on the other side, and I felt like because I was comfortable with Steph and Bonnie, I was just like, well, I feel like I'll be okay either way, and I wasn't sure what you were going to do with your advantages, and
Okay.
so that's kind
And
of where I came from there.
and then why you left Sam, or why you didn't respond to Sam when you evicted him?
When I evicted him, I will say this: he came to me like 2 p.m. that day and was like, "Hey, do you have an idea where you're going?" And I was like, "Well, I'll be honest. I was like, I thought you said you weren't gonna pester me because I had been annoyed all season by the way he would pester me whenever he was under fire, and at that point, so the round before, I had made a comment to him about whichever vote it was and sending it to
about letting the vote go to Rocks because of me. Yeah.
Rocks.
To get rid of me.
And so I found out later from Stephanie that he went and told her that I said that and basically tried to split us apart. And then when I confronted him about it, well, he was like, Stephanie fell into my trap. I knew I couldn't trust her. And I was like, well, I didn't say this, but in my head, I was like, Stephanie didn't fall into your trap. You fell into mine, because the entire reason I had said that is because I wanted to know if he would go run and say that, because a few rounds before he said he wanted to start rebuilding trust with us again. And then in that moment, he threw it away.
Okay, can I just jump in? I just want to get a quick 5-second answer. Because I want to ask Stephanie a question too. And I know my time might run out. Because I felt a lot of times you did end up telling me that you were going to vote for me, or that I was going out, but I felt a lot of times that you were just ignoring me, not ignoring me, but just like opening my messages and not responding. I don't know. And obviously we all have lives and we're busy. But it just felt like a lot of time it was hard to get answers out of, not answers, but just like an idea of where your head was at. So just a yes or no question. Do you believe that every person that's going to the jury and going to be voting for you or against you in the final two deserves to know, deserves an answer of, are you going to evict them or not? Yes or no?
What do you mean by that?
Like, do you believe that if someone says, please let me know if I'm going to be the one voted out, do you believe that every person who's going to be on a jury voting for you in the final two, do you think?
From my perspective, everyone deserves that except for Sam. By the time
okay, that's enough.
We got to the end of it. By the time we got to the end of it, I was so annoyed by what he was doing that I was like, you know what? Because he also is like, I'm at peace at mind that I'm not going to win, but then he starts doing stuff. And I was like, you're not at peace of mind at all. So by that point, I was like, you didn't deserve it.
Okay. Thank you. So Stephanie, do I have enough time to ask Stephanie a question?
Yeah, y'all bear with Caleb. You know, he's autistic and he's doing his very best. So y'all please bear with him. Go ahead. I'll try to answer my questions fast.
So Stephanie, I really enjoyed playing the game with you and getting to know you. What would you say is your worst move in the game?
Oh, my worst move in the game. Oh shit. It's gonna sound so arrogant, but I don't think I have one. And I say that because I was so positioned so well socially between like both sides of the house that I guess my worst move, you know what, I do have one. My worst move was not getting to know Casey. Like I tried to get to know Sis, but Sis did not respond to me. She was out with her friends and she did not respond to me at all. And so I do that is a flaw. Like I really went into this game trying to have a relationship with everyone, and I didn't have one with her and with Will, and so I do regret that. So yeah, that was a bad move on my part.
Okay. Sorry, now I gotta cut you off because see, I let you go over. Seeing Connor, how nice I am despite that. Anyway, thank you, Connor. So next up is Bonnie. Whenever you're ready.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hello, guys. First of all, congrats to both of you on getting to the end. I'm so proud of both of you and your games. And I feel bad. So, Stephanie, I think you played an amazing social game, and everybody can see that.
Thank you.
And I think you did wonderful. The thing that I wish more people saw was, and the thing that you understand about Caleb and I understand about Caleb is, Caleb played an awesome game too in his own right. And maybe socially, like talking to everybody isn't a strong suit. I hate talking to everybody. Sam's phone calls, oh my God. And Sam can be an absolute fucking nudge when he needs to get some shit done, or it's like the day before. So the one thing that I want to say in Caleb's defense of not talking to people or telling somebody that they're going out at the move before they go out, sometimes that's enough to light a fire under them to make some shit happen. And especially when you want that person to go out for whatever reasons you have, I think that, I don't fault you on not telling people what move you're going to make or what vote you're going to send in, because sometimes that is a strategy that you need to have. Somebody like Sam is wily. I saw it on the day that maybe the day that I was going out, where he was getting in both of your heads and trying to separate you,
Oh
you both from
Lord.
each other. That was
Mhm.
that was rough, and that was him trying to make sure that if he's there next round, one of you would think about keeping him over both of you. So, all right. So now that I've pontificated
Yeah.
enough, um, Stephanie, what is one of the meanest things that I would say you did to any of the drawers? Because you've had such a social game, I have to bring you back down to reality, and I want to hear one mean thing that you did.
One mean thing I did to one of the jurors. I mean, is there anything meaner than giving Casey the Pooh Brown power veto? Like, is there anything meaner than that? Like, and then on top of that, she thought she was staying because Caleb had the green mile and then she didn't stay. So, I mean, like, I guess that was it. I mean, I didn't really talk about people like that behind their back. I mean, I'm the type of person that if I said it behind you, I'll say it to you. So I mean, I do think that, I don't think that there's anything that I said outside of, I told anybody that would listen to me that Casey won't talk to me and I don't know what her problem is with me. But I mean, that's really all I got for that one.
That's fair. And Caleb, I know, like, you say sometimes things like, I was afraid of this or whatever. And I don't think it's necessarily that you were afraid of, like, Connor having the rock me not and things, but you saw it as him having a strategic advantage that you didn't want to go
I
against.
did. Yes.
Yeah. So what is one of the things that you are most proud of, or what do you think was your biggest move in the game besides getting Sam out? Like, what is something you helped get done?
I have a couple things. I mean, you mean from everyone's being, or my own? Because for my own, I felt like especially early, I felt like I saw my social game slipping again. And one of the things there was one thing that I was both proud of and not proud of, and that was when I didn't really hesitate to send Kendra out um because that was when I felt like I really built a lot of social connections. The person who I really directly threw her out to was Roberto. She had basically labeled put basically I said what she had said verbatim when she had said that quote he and Thomas were running the game, and I went straight to him knowing I could build trust with that side that way. And I chose to do it with Roberto because I felt like he was the kind of person that could bridge me over to other players that I didn't have social connections with. And I was as far as what running with Stephanie, part of that was um, the fact that after I had sent Kendra out, I did feel a little bit bad because we had a whole discussion this game that we were going to actually work together for once. Because one of the first things she said to me was she reminded me that she had actually taken me out in a game last year. And I'll admit another one of the reasons I decided to send her out was because in my head I was like, I'm gonna get her. Was I want to get her back, as much as I also wanted to work with her. So I felt guilt, and and so as soon as I found out, Steph came to me and was like, I made a promise to Kendra that I would keep you around as long as possible. And, as bad as I felt for sending her out, I felt like I felt like the closest I could come to, honoring that at least Kendra wanted to have something with me with time was to run with Stephanie. So there was that. And then also, I honestly, I'm not going to lie, I felt pretty proud by the fact that in the end, I was the one that finally got to send Sam out, because I felt like I had endured a lot of stuff with him, being his pawn early, and then all the stuff he did. I mean, he tried to turn me and Stephanie against each other. He did a lot of things. And, at the end of the end of the day, I got the fact that he felt like the jury was probably going to lean towards Stephanie to win if I kept her. But at that point, I was at peace at peace with the fact that was likely the case, because I was proud of the game that I played, and in a lot of ways, I was very proud of the fact that after I won that one comp, standing on one legs for 11 minutes, and then I won 2 out of the 3 final HOH comps, and I historically I've been very bad at comps, and I look back and I actually think I won more comps than anyone, which is crazy to me. So, and most of all, after everything that I endured with Sam, I was proud of the fact that I stood up to it. Yes, the way I kind of ended it was a little bit harsh, but when he after he claimed that he was trying to rebuild things with us, and then he tried to split us apart again, I was very, very hurt by that, because after he was like, oh no, I want to be trust with him, I'm not like that, and he did something like that again. I had kind of just had it. But yeah.
Well, I think you both played amazing games. I'm really proud of both of you. Stephanie, I feel like your game is very, everybody sees how well you did. Caleb, I'm glad that you're talking about the things that you did, because I think you both played amazing games, and I wish you both the best of luck. Okay?
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Can I also say to you, Bunny, what you just said was that I couldn't have done it without him. I couldn't have done it without him. In this game, you have to have someone you trust 100%, and he was that person for me.
I love it. I really do.
That's the same way I felt
guys.
about her.
Another 2 hearts.
And
Sorry. We doubled her time. She was at 8 minutes. So sorry. At some point, I got to cut in. Okay. Sam already went.
Bye, guys.
Takes us to Roberto. Roberto, you have 4 minutes. Try to stay reasonable. Not everybody's going over, but anyway, go.
For sure. I'll keep this short and sweet. First off, congrats to Caleb and Stephanie for making it to final 2. I knew that scenario was going to happen the second I lost part 2, but it's fine by me. I just want to say that I wasn't really fully there for most of what Stephanie and Caleb did, but I think based off of what I gotten in the jury chat, I got a pretty good consensus of where it is leaning. However, I want to lay this off to both of you. What is the one moment that you could have changed in the game that would have solidified that you would have locked the jury votes for sure? I will go with Stephanie first.
The one thing that I would have locked the jury votes for sure. I mean, I think it would have been very beneficial having Kendra on the jury, since she was who I made a final 2 with. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say that And then I tried so damn hard to keep her. I remember when I was HOH and I did not nominate her. I think there was a consensus in Pivot that she would be nominated, and now like, oh, I want to be HOH, and I was like, I am not nominating her because that is terrible for my game. And so I mean, she ended up going out the next week. But her being on the jury would be great.
Caleb?
For me, I like to say it was one of the 2 or 3 times I could have sent out Stephanie, but it's hard for me to say that because I just didn't. I felt like I saw other jurors going out and being bitter, and I just didn't know how she was going to respond if I stabbed her in the back like that. And so that's kind of why I ultimately didn't, even though I recognize that it could also be a very bad jury move. But at the same time, those very well could have been the moments that solidified my jury vote.
Right. I was gonna ask, Caleb, you had 3 opportunities to take out Stephanie. That probably would have won you the game had you would have gone for it. I understood why you did it. We already had a conversation before I got eliminated. It was fine. I understood from your perspective. However, some people view that differently. But I just will say that, I think regardless of what you did, you probably had a bigger underdog story than what a lot of people would have leaned on. So I wouldn't count yourself out of it yet. But I will say the rest of the time here, you will have an uphill battle. But I think regardless, both of you played amazing games. I do feel that whoever gets the votes to the end is going to earn it 1,000%. But on that note, I'll end with one final question.
Okay.
If you were to replace yourself with one member on the jury, who would that be and why?
Bonnie, because she's a pure soul. I say in my closing, but I'll say it now. Bonnie really gave me a sense of belonging. And I was able to open up to her and share a lot of things with her about parts of me that have just really come to light a lot in the last year. And it would have been an honor of a lifetime to vote for her.
Caleb?
I would also say Bonnie, Bonnie. She was probably the next person I was closest to after Steph, and she was a very pure soul. Another reason I finally settled on sending Sam out was one of the things that she said to me was not to let Sam get in my head. And I was coming to the grips with the fact that as much as I understood that it probably wouldn't bode well with the jury if I kept Stephanie, I felt like I felt like I was going to feel more at peace with the fact that I didn't let him get in my head with everything I had dealt with from him throughout the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
how much time do I
and
left?
if it wasn't Bonnie, it would have been you, Roberto, because I do feel like you also kind of deserve to be here, but
you have 0 time left. But is there anything?
Okay. Perfect timing. Okay. Well, good luck.
All right. So we've heard from all of the jurors. Thank you. And now, Stephanie, Caleb, you have one last chance with 4 minutes to plead your case to the jurors. And Caleb, since you won that last head of household, you get to choose who goes first here.
I'll go first this time.
Okay. Your time starts.
I kind of felt like there was a likely way the things I got from the jury was going to go, and it was what I was expecting. I kept Stephanie around, and I figured I was going to have an uphill battle if I had any chance to win it all. But at the end of the day, this org and pretty much every org I've come into, I felt like I've come in with an uphill battle between my disability and struggling to talk with people, and then ending up out of the loop. And either being sent out because I didn't talk to anyone, or being kept because I was an easy number. I felt like I tried my hardest not to be either of those things that time. I tried so hard to play my own game. And, winning as many comps as I did, and, feeling like I played my ass off in my social game more than I ever have. I felt like I did that as much as I could. I recognize that the odds are stacked against me here, and at this point, I don't really want to plead or make a case that much. I'm at peace with whatever happens. Knowing even if I didn't win, then someone who deserved to win did win if I end up not winning. I had a conversation with Stephanie very shortly to when the game ended, and she told me a story about Big Brother 3 and the story of Danielle and Jason. And at the end of the day, learning about how Lisa won after people got mad that they didn't know that Jason and Danielle were a secret duo, and so Lisa won over Jason. I was like, you know what? I'm the underdog, but I feel more satisfaction with the fact that at least we didn't give them a choice but to choose between Danielle and Jason. That's ultimately where I came from at the end of this. I've taken a lot of heat, and at the end of the day, I have a feeling there'll probably never be an agreement between me and Sam, and that that might have made my game. I don't know, but I felt like I stood up for myself, and I am proud of that above everything. Yes, I may have lost because I let Stephanie stay, but if I'm going to say anything to the jury, it's that don't say I didn't play my own damn game, because I know damn well that I did. Thank you.
Thank you, Caleb. And Stephanie, your 4 minutes starts now.
I was going to read what I wrote, but I decided not to most of the way through this, because I guess it just became really, really clear to me that the person that I'm sitting next to, and Caleb and I got really close very early on, and I think what Sam ultimately did to Caleb was that he reminded him of how he had been treated before in his life, and when he never stood up for himself. And with all of you guys, I've always been honest with you, and I've always told you the truth. And I'm proud of how I played this game. I think I only had 2 eviction votes against me, but one of those was thanks to the public. And winning this game is important to me. I mean, this game hasn't seen a female winner in 5 seasons, and I'd be the first Black woman to win it. But more than anything, I just want to be a good person. And all of you, the personal things that we talked about, Bonnie, us traveling, Sam, me coming to visit, Roberto, meeting you and your girlfriend, Connor, the bonding over losing our parents, all those things were real. And this game is ultimately a social game. More than a comp game, it's a social game. That's what the premise of this game was built upon. And I think that more than anything, I just played it very socially. I just so happened to win comps. This year I found out that that I was neurodivergent, and I'm legally blind. And the fact that I made it this far with those things is is really, I'm really proud of me. I'm proud of this, and I'm proud of Caleb. I am very, very proud of Caleb. He will always be the Jason to my Danielle, and I knew that Caleb taking me to final two was gonna be hard for him, but I respect his loyalty so much because I would have given it to him. None of you I have anything bad to say ain't nothing bad to say about you, but thank you all. This game was so healing for me. It started 2 weeks after my father passed, and you've shared your stories of grief and healing with me, and I owe so much to all of you. That's it.
Sorry. Thank you both. You both did very well, and now you've really done everything you possibly can do, and now the power goes to the jurors, the 7 of you. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, plus Will and Missy, will be casting their votes tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern time for the winner of Big Brother Cheesecake 9 Friends Time. And I will remind you all, and I'll say this in the group chat, so don't worry, you must cast your vote in the form, I vote for so-and-so to win Big Brother Cheesecake 9 Friends Time, or your vote is reversed. And yes, it happened in season 1 because people couldn't listen and pull the topaz, although it did not affect who ended up winning. But still, I will change your vote if you don't do it right. I will put it in the main chat. So just copy and paste it and put the name in. It's that simple. Tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern will be the vote reveal and also information about season 10, and then a reunion where we'll just shoot the shit. And I think that's about everything. So with that said,
Freak, stop. Can I say one thing? Because I'm not going to be there tomorrow, guys.
Okay.
Remember,
all right.
Yeah. I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I have a vet appointment, my dog. Anyway, but I just wanted to say, Stephanie and Caleb both, congratulations. It was very nice watching you guys play, make it to the end. I do appreciate your loyalty and all of the hardships and the things that you both endured. Caleb, I picked you as being on Team Rod. It's funny, this won't mean anything to you guys, but Stephanie, you were Team Corey. Caleb was Team Rhonda. So Corey and I finally made it to a final 2 together. This is what we think. Corey and I made it to a final 2 together through you guys. But it was a pleasure watching everybody play this season. I'll try to come on later if you guys are still on tomorrow. But thank you. Enjoyed watching you all.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you. Can I go now, Rhonda? With that said, Stephanie or Caleb, who will win Big Brother Cheesecake 9 Friends Time? Find out tomorrow, Friday, October 27th for the season finale. And I will have details about season 10. I'm Andrew Shostak-Moonves. Take care. And remember, expect the unexpected. And I'm being furious. Good night.